black fingers literally
I
just
don't
nothing else?
know. I've been hearing about what I believe to be an outbreak of Myricor in the Draculan, and I'm not sure how true it is. Oh, I wonder.
Oh,
One,
we have company.
one moment. I will.
Rather frantic company. You know what? No, I'm
Just wait.
accompanying.
Possibly be there.
Cora's gone. Come in.
I brought some stuff.
Oh, wonderful. Those of you up there, it's, oh. Hello. Hello, Mina. Hello, Dorian. What brings you here?
Did we just summon her?
It does, honestly.
Let me get a box down.
Do you have any grass?
Grass?
Thank you.
Huh?
And there's a couple of people up in the infirmary. Dorian, I'd like you up there in a moment.
What?
Right. How are you doing, by the way?
Not
I
particularly.
haven't had a chance to check in with you outside of the ball, so...
Well, aside from having my throat ripped because I tried to go to a bar, just fine, I suppose. I've had some surprising developments that I need to loop you in on before too long.
Alright. Well...
No.
did you want to be allowed up to go rest?
I mean, it's probably for the best. I
Alright.
don't want to intrude on anything.
You're alright, Mina. We're happy to have you here. Hello, you all.
Oh, Dorian. Speaking of, if you're up and about, would you mind if I ask you a rather important question real quick before we continue a
Okay,
gathering?
Order of operations.
in
Order
just
of
a moment,
order of operations, yes.
Order of operations.
Oh goodness, who's striking at what?
Decide I want to beat you up. No.
No, I suppose if I'm picking a side.
Hello, Dorian.
Hello.
Once this spar is over, let's go back up to the infirmary and we can continue the discussion. Coruscant, welcome to your first secret talk, I suppose. to the infirmary. Come on. Actually, let's use this. Let's use the circle room. Not that circle room, but the other circle room, Dorian, the one up in this tower. We've never used it. Dorian, if you could get the door.
The other circle.
Well, you do pass through the other circle rooms.
Yes.
Oh, this way.
All right, Dorian, you get the purple one. I know it's your favorite.
How could I?
Get fine. I'll sit on the crumble.
All right. I worry a bit actually about potential eavesdropping from the road. God, I really want to talk to you, but I worry about the road.
Yes, unfortunately, as much as this is the lovely circle,
Okay, but for security, we need to.
We are also missing one person, so
yes.
it does feel a little incomplete.
I can sign.
Do you want me to check if I can hear you in the roads?
No, it's. We can check it another time. For the moment, in here.
Yeah, at the very least, it is fine.
Alright.
Just take a seat. I teach my classes in here. It's a good place to sit. Dorian, there's chairs.
Yeah, but the rug is purple.
Okay, fine. Well, if it's purple, then I suppose I can't tell you no, can I?
And so, to look at all of your beautiful faces, I will say there's one face in this room that is a little surprising. Did I miss something?
I think you very much did miss something. Evangeline, well, I suppose everyone here. I'm going to be the one to push circle of trust, close circle of information here. Evangeline has spoken to me earlier of some things that I'll bring up to you when we talk later, Dorian, but for the moment I trust her to be here. Now, what started all of this was I went to the bar that was opening because I thought it would be a fun experience and perhaps get a spar in, even if some of Noctum's faithful were there. It's a bar. People don't try to kill each other on bar grounds. That was not the case. I arrived. I heard Isabel make a noise from behind a hood. He clearly seemed intoxicated, and so presumably Eleanor was there as well. Or at least someone to keep watch over him. I exchanged a few pleasantries with Tyor. Bela heard my voice and immediately stopped everything she was doing to call me out as a stinky cultist, to come up the stairs and tell me that this is a private establishment. And, despite it being publicly posted on the Waygates as a bar and everyone invited to come, I told that I was not welcome here. She drew her axes. Valeria drew her greatsword. I took a moment to think about how I would respond to her telling me to get out. I offered to settle things in the ring, and she said no. Then she attacked you. Oh yes, she told me to get out of the bar. I was going to try and talk my way out of things, or at least see how it would go. About 10 seconds later, she attacked with her axes. So there was a small window to vacate while I was deciding what to do. Ultimately, I was trying to see if I could remain neutral and keep a sort of positivity and not engage in conflict, and despite the enemy's presence there, I was hopeful that I could talk, be nice, be kind, have positive interactions, be not the untrustworthy cultist that people seem to think that I am. For this crime, I suppose, I was attacked viciously, first by Bela, then joined by a man who I believe was Vitus. That's what I've been told his name is, the one who stands by Bela's side and seems to help her through everything. It's not Alifer. I also saw Alifer. Valeria also attacked me. Jezebel. Voltraxis of the Academy attacked me. Alifer, I believe, tried to strike at me, but didn't quite make it there by the time I felt a knee. Velos struck at me as well. Here's the list. I will put it on the table for all of you again. Here. The first is the list that was present. The second is the list that actually struck at me. I've gotten word, Dorian, about another that we need to keep an eye on. One who has turned traitor to the cluster might be a strong word, but one who seeks to use our favor against us to gather information and feed it into Noctum hands.
I see. Well,
And this being this being specifically Philemnia Darkwood.
not surprising. Specifically, given the fact that, there was an attack of the Cult of the Damned that did tear her throat, and although we attempted to do things, that is necessarily something that people easily forget.
No, it's not.
In addition, the misunderstanding or misremembering or miscommunication from the Academy reports saying
has
that
done
the Darkwoods as a whole are enemies.
I believe that report has since been amended, but far after the fact and far past the point when it mattered. Everyone already believes we called them enemies, even though we never did.
I attempted to amend it myself, but
As did I.
was rebuffed.
I was also rebuffed. Even though it was a stated factual error, he still refused to amend it. Voltraxis posts on the Waygates about how we are saying things about the cult and saying to get out of their territory, meaning Noctum's territory. Blatant to the point where I had someone entirely uninvolved in the conflict come to me and talk about how it's sort of a bad look for the Academy. Yet when I wrote to Zerat on the subject, he said, well, he used no Academy stationery, nor seal, nor messages, so it isn't really a breach of any Academy neutrality. That's his position on the matter.
Well, I myself do not feel there is need to press Zort on matter of Academy neutrality. After all, there are faithful of our own amongst the Academy.
Yes.
We wouldn't want to put them in a bit of a pickle that puts them in danger.
Of course. I quite agree. I have no interest in forcing the Academy's hand, and I told Zerat as much. But Voltraxis' postings are indicative, as is Jezebel and... Go ahead, Evangeline.
As someone that has been working with Srod the age prior very actively, faculty librarian, Srod will take initiative against Voltraxis or even the cult members of the Academy the second something turns out to be dangerous. If he gets wind of Voltraxis being in danger and possibly endangering the Academy itself, Strahd will take action and pass him, probably.
Well.
And that also could count with the cult members like Alice. He takes initiative once it gets dangerous. Before that, as long as it stays out of the Academy.
Although, realistically, most members of the Academy are also part of Noctum, given I haven't seen or heard of Alice's activities in quite some time.
Alice
I
is
wouldn't say
not.
most members of the Academy are part of Noctum.
Most of everyone seems to be part of Noctum, as though it feels these days. I don't feel comfortable traveling on the roads, and that is a well-founded fear given what happened this cycle. Particularly given that
You kind of get used to it eventually. You do
Wow.
get used to being hunted actively eventually.
the four of us
Yes.
were traveling on the road, save Alexei and Korozkan, together, all as wolves, and Jezebel, Eleanor, and Vivian. This was in northern Farbane, mind you. Just south of the Academy, to a degree. Or somewhat
If it turned
southwest
out
of it.
if that moment would have turned out to be a fight, I would have went against Nocturne.
They were very close
Right there.
to attacking us. Jezebel drew weapon and chased after us with her veil, while talking to Eleanor about how suspicious we were. But I wonder where they're going. I believe I saw all of them draw blade. It was dangerous enough a moment that all of us turned to rats and quickly downed potives, in case it was going to become a fight.
Well, I'm glad you made it out of the situation without blades being drawn at the very least.
It
On the way
is.
home. I
It
guess
is.
blood being drawn is the more correct term. Blades are clearly drawn. It's blood.
I don't. Yes. They treat even Farbane like it's their territory and waltz around brazenly because I can fight, but I am not a fighter. That is the truth of things, and certainly not after having my throat torn. I'm not going to risk myself. I'm not going to risk further damage to myself by fighting before I've had a chance to recover. But I do want their heads. Jezebel's, Valeria's, the ones who attacked me.
I will mention, if I can replicate it once more, there was a rejuvenation serum from the prior era that was
I've
rather potent,
yeah.
called by, I believe, the Silver Pact.
I see. If you have plans for such, I'd compare them to my own. I have made use of some of Venom Blade technology to construct such potions, though I don't actively carry them in combat. I tend to rely on my blood magic for such things, though it is an
Well,
option.
You already have something close to that.
Well. I suppose is this... Are we currently simply gathering information on what just occurred, or are you seeking a plan here, Karina?
Yes, and Eva has been, truthfully, very helpful, and to the full extent of that is, well, something I'm still processing, I suppose. It's difficult, Eva. I know you understand, but I will underscore the point, given that you were attacking us in Mordium, but you have provided information, and for that we are grateful. It's a tenuous position to be in. I know you know that. You are in a position where you have to prove yourself much more than most, Evangeline. But you have made, in my eyes, first steps in this regard. That is how I see things, personally. Yes, since we're being out with it, I am walking around as Hannah on the roads. I act like her. I communicate like her. If necessary, I will even, to a degree, act like her around Evangeline, simply to ensure that things are they appear as they should.
I will admit that is quite brilliant.
Hmm?
That is quite brilliant.
Hannah and I use the same magics. We have similar medical expertise. We can appear as each other. With Hannah's neutrality, it means that I can. I can seem as her, talk as her. Well, sign as her, appropriately. Even write to Miss Valeria on a notepad as her.
Do you have a cloak that
I
is
do.
of hers made?
Yes, of course. Everything is an exact match, save for our skin tones, which are ever so slightly different.
Don't worry, I already got confused who's my girlfriend. Twice.
Very well. Hannah, if you'd like to step outside a moment.
Alright. Quite a brilliant strategy, I will say.
You know,
I'm
eventually
excited
I'm
to-
going to say it. Does this not remind you of the Zerad Legion?
Oh no, don't remind me.
Absolutely.
There was a time when Zra, doctors hired two girlfriends.
Lovely.
Good show of it.
This is cursed.
Who's who?
As you wish.
Well, this is quite wonderful.
Huh.
Cast your gaze.
Evangeline, you are in danger. This is the ultimate trap. This is where your lover will go. How did you not know it was me?
Oh, this is interesting.
That is the true test of love here. Can I trust you though? Or is that
Who wants
my
to
real
rewind?
love?
Real. Fake.
So it shall be.
What is up,
Let's-
Mitch?
Let's find out.
200 years ago.
Yep.
Oh.
Dang,
Yeah.
alright, it works.
200 years ago,
I can-
Dr. Srod made a creation of his own called Srod, who went against his creator, and he was he was beholden, helper of science, kind of. It was an
I heard
entropic
of
rat,
this. I heard of him.
and when we went
I heard
out,
of the rat.
when we went out to
You've
defeat
heard of
him
Sarat.
because there was a problem with the. We had to secure the meteorite shard to a new place, and Strat was attacking us. We all went out as Strat. There were like 20 or 30 Strats out there. Meteorite shard.
What is that?
It is essentially, I believe, what some believe it was a remnant of true fire magic from an age long gone. I also theorize it was potentially a fragment of wild magic that had been exposed to, well, the stars.
It was basically a very shiny rock that if you stared at too long, it was basically like the sun if you entered the fucking room.
But
Well,
it cleansed the entropy of that age.
Yeah.
So it shall be.
And meteorite means the science despised that Strahd actually got the shard for a moment and brought it back to the oasis where the science resided at. And the science attacked Strahd for it. And their helpers, they turned enemy because they brought that shard over there.
I see.
How odd.
Interesting. Well, it is. This is a good plan to get back on topic,
Victory is yours.
and hopefully it will help you move about safely, Karina.
That is my hope. It is a shame that I must disguise myself and my actions, but it is necessary. It will.
Well, we're
Yes.
going to run into a problem if they start attacking everyone who happens to be wearing a hood.
If they start attacking everyone wearing a hood, then that will hopefully convince people that they are in fact not the good guys here, and that when you have a militaristic might that wants to control people, that they actually are going to do that.
I will say it is quite impossible for me to hide my own identity, so I'm just going with it.
I mean, you could cut your hair,
That's
but
really
you know.
No. Listen, Karina, do you hear my voice? Any attempt to say anything would be obvious. Do you look at my hands? One of them is golden.
I know, I see it. I put it there. I'm very aware.
We could talk Nabs into perhaps producing prosthetics that are golden colored.
I mean, that would work.
Selling them?
Okay, here's what, back on topic, a plan. I was attacked at the bar. That bar is not neutral, it is not safe to go to. I want their heads, truthfully, but I'm in no condition to do so. I don't know. Dorian, what do you want to do right now? My own feelings aside, I understand how sending our own to attack would look.
Yes, and, well, I am worried about your well-being, Karina, and I'm worried about setting a precedent for open warfare on the roads being worse for us in the end than otherwise. After all, if we start, well, attacking people just out on the streets, then and that starts to signal that that is normal and should be accepted.
I understand.
already is.
They've already been doing
It already
that,
is.
to be fair.
Yes,
I
don't
understand
think any of us
that.
who are known
Okay.
cultists travel the roads.
I want to throw a token in here. I am still with Noctum, at least in their ranks. Abuse it. Give me something to do. They trust me. Especially Eleanor.
I see.
Yes, it's... I have a lot of thoughts that I am trying to work through in my head. This space is not big enough for a full circle.
Dorian, just come to the garden.
it's-
You can come to the garden. You can circle the
Alright.
tree. It's okay.
I think we should think on this though, Eva.
Let me
Very
dig in
good.
my pockets for some bones real quick.
Yes, please do. The bracers ran out a long time ago. We're going to have to be really careful with what we do now. We're outnumbered. We are outgunned, at least in a straight-up fight right now. That doesn't mean we can't win a battle.
And
Well,
they
that's so cool.
unfortunately know my name, so I will be outside if you need me during that meeting. I don't wish for them to think poorly on you because of me.
Lexi, I will be...
I put this over in here, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Coruscant. I
I
appreciate
believe I
it.
am quite possibly one of Noctum's most wanted criminals, so there's
Hmm.
that as well.
I'll be just outside.
Of course.
If they trap you in, I will kick down the door.
I'm considering trying to propose. Okay, all right. I have a vague idea.
What is your
Where-
idea?
My vague idea is that if we are able to unquestionably prove that it was not us who broke the ceasefire, that we might be able to use the momentum to place limits and rules of engagement on the conflict that is able to protect us out on the roads at the very least. We could designate areas where fighting is, well, permitted, and areas where it is not. It it goes against some of what my, well, fellows have said to me in terms of, oh, this is war, this is war, this is war. You know.
It has been an ugly war for a very long time for those of us who have been here.
One more time.
And it is.
You said that you're trying to set terms and basically places where fighting would be allowed. Well,
It is a thought. It's a thought that I am having.
I think it's a great idea, albeit a very naive one at this point.
They will most likely assert that Mortium should be an area of no fighting, and well,
Well, one of my thoughts on areas of where fighting is allowed is that we are allowed to fight each other in territories that are claimed as unquestionably Culture Noctum territory.
That would be Eastern Dunley,
oh,
Northeastern
However,
Farbine, and
No,
Mordium.
no, the thing is, unquestionably, Cult's territory is our houses because we understand that this land should not just belong to us.
Very true. Very, very true.
Meanwhile, unquestionably, Noctum territory is all of the mountains and all of their houses and all of Noctum.
And all of Mordium,
I-
yes.
Because they
That is clever, Dorian. I will give it to
else
you.
it would make a point.
there's one problem though, is that Noctum has already stated that they cannot control individuals amongst their ranks, and Mentions will likely
Yes.
slaughter.
They
the
just don't care.
Darkness, likely
Yes.
will attack.
But to
They
that,
don't care.
The
Alright,
problem
alright.
is that the Mancinis are doing so much of their own thing and are steering that war even more than Noctum itself is.
Listen,
It's
I think this may be an unpopular opinion, but do you think, well actually not this part isn't unpopular. I think people are afraid of Noctum. Very afraid of Noctum, so that may be why they're joining the ranks. Maybe, hear me out, a show of force to show that they're not quite as strong as you think. If
What
this
do you think
turns out
the
to be
Undead
true,
Legion attacking Mortium was, though?
yes, but that is also a show of force. Maybe a show of force in a different way, or just exposing their weaknesses to the public. Maybe
Or exposing their greater
infection.
evils that they try to hide in the closet.
exactly.
I think they didn't really hide it in the closet when they sent a legion to slaughter Dawnbreak Village, and it seems that nobody cared.
I meant more
Everyone
so.
was asserting that the humans were evacuated, despite the fact that I heard a Dreadhorn in the distance slaughtering somebody.
we could spread some rumors that they're infected of something.
It's not a rumor,
Maybe
that's the thing, from what I know.
Exactly. So maybe a little bit of lies mixed with some truth,
So it shall be.
and spread some how would I say, fear among them. Maybe that's more contagious than it actually is.
Or say it's just the Red Death and not the mushrooms.
There you go.
well, the problem
most
is that if we are caught lying, then that is just more fuel to the fire against us. The
We
thing,
don't have to spread it. We could.
And
they
let's
could
see,
just
the
go
problem-
around.
The problem is if you say you want to spread lies with a sprinkle of truth. If these lies are found out, the cult is in a massive disadvantage suddenly again.
This is true, but who's to say it came from us? Could just be some knowledge that's, passed around every once in a while, and then it becomes public knowledge.
As you
it is an unfortunate situation where much of what gets passed around can easily be pinned on us. After all,
This is true.
People pin
I
on
have
us
to
things that we haven't done, and they blame us for actions we haven't caused. It already happens.
I
Well, then
would
you have nothing to lose.
attempt what Dorian said. If one has the war zones, if one can designate where the war is led to, neutral parties are less affected by it. Suddenly more trust can be built up. A lot of neutral parties got suddenly, kind of pulled in.
Yes.
of
I
their own
heavily
fault,
Oh dear.
mind you.
I have letters to respond to. Jamie sent me a letter with regards to the Waygate posting about no neutral parties. That's the consideration that
Yes.
I'm trying to deal with because it's specifically in battle. On the battlefield, there is no room for neutrality. On the battlefield, it's kill or be killed. Off of it, that is where neutrality can thrive.
Why aren't people writing me these letters? Why
I
are
have
they
one-
them to you?
I have one from Jamie that I need to respond to. I just have been busy.
Just that cool.
Also,
Everyone
perhaps
just
because
wants
Karina
to
is
overwork
seen out.
Karina.
Karina is seen out and about a fair bit more.
Absolutely.
I try to make a point of showing
Yes.
my face. Unfortunately, this cycle it ended up in my throat getting ripped.
I have very heavy disagreements for what Dorian suggested, and I would be very careful of. I mean, they're not going to follow it. You are likely going to get your throat ripped if you are in a peaceful or safe
Oh.
area.
Well, if we consider how Noctum has spun a lot of their information regarding us, that we are unreasonable, that we are, well, not willing to listen to the idea that people can be neutral, that people need to join Noctum in order to be safe from us. If we are the ones to put forward the idea of war zones in specific areas where, there is to be no attacking, where neutral parties are safe,
Yes.
then
I have a
if they then
thought.
attack us in those areas, not only would the people that are still neutral see that occur and see us, well, as victims in that moment, because we would be, but also, we would have a situation where, well, how would I put it?
I
Those who joined Noctum, who believe them in that regard, would also see it and might reconsider. They could
Yes.
potentially even lose people.
We have begun to offer the use of our own fusion forge to our faithful. So, but I believe perhaps we should be more public about the benefits of choosing our side. Noctum sells people on weapons, but my thought, Dorian, make a public Waygate posting inviting Noctum to treaty talks at a neutral location.
So to that regard, I do need to check with the others of the faith. I
Of
cannot
course.
do this by myself.
It's not a
But-
decision to make lightly, but I think it would work.
Exactly. But I think that if we have unquestionable proof of the fact that we were not the ones to place the explosives, we would have enough, perhaps, weight to pull treaty
Hannah and
talks into, well,
We'll find out what we can.
Yes, find out what you can. This is very important.
Yes,
I'm just gonna squat here.
of course. What I will note, Dorian, I suppose I'll say this publicly. We have recently made public our offerings to our own faithful. The use of the fusion forge is among them.
Allow me to get more comfortable.
As you wish.
Let's talk more after the.
Yes.
Until everyone's awake.
dear. Yeah, there we go.
Alright. Oh, Alexios. Not awake. Alright.
Yasod is also not quite awake just yet.
No, now he is. Alright.
Yeah.
So, about the idea I had, Karina, I told you about Izel's core, right?
You did. That was one of
I
the
did
things I
tell-
was going to mention.
I also told Eleanor about that you would be able to help. Now, what if we chose this opportunity and let's say you helped Izel in a very neutral spot, not one of Noctum sided, not one of the cult sided, but an actual neutral spot where neutral parties can overlook it. And you help Izel. If Noctum decides to attack you for it, well, Noctum is on the bad side. If you help Izel, though, well, that could be seen as something very good for the cult.
That's
It's going to
something
be,
to take under very careful consideration. There's a very great many things that would go into making that choice.
Yes, there's a lot. One factor in particular is, well, the fact that at this time we are still at war and Noctum does still want us dead. And not only Noctum, but those who have aligned themselves with Noctum. So taking actions that clearly benefits them is something that is, well, something to be hesitant of. However, I do certainly think that there is value in mercy, and there is potentially something there that we could lean upon when it comes to, well, finding a way to ensure peace talks happen if even the fact that we are innocent of all charges is disregarded. Because
If you
if perhaps, well,
This way.
get the evidence to say, yes, we are innocent.
Yes, if we wish to claim our innocence and prove it,
They
that
might-
we want... Here's a thought. We have put Noctum in a difficult position by blowing open a hole in their wall. That means that they, regardless of their outward offensiveness, have to protect. Their territory is exposed in a way it hasn't been in a long time. If we want to come to genuine peace talks, then now's not a bad time to do it, given that we have that strategic advantage. If we
It's-
were to do this, I think it would have to be with the aim of, again, coming to ceasefire talks in mind, but it wouldn't be something we could feasibly do without the proof, like you say.
Need to wait.
I'm not sure if... I'm still not entirely sure if ceasefire entirely is possible at this point. However,
Cast your
rules of engagement, that might be.
Remember, it's only the ones who are ahead who can dictate the rules of engagement.
Yes.
Yes, which is why I think that it might be possible that if, well, such research into core repair goes well,
I am...
then perhaps that can be something we bring to the table to ensure such talks occur.
So
It is something I have proposed my theory. I'm simply meditating on the finer points before I attempt it. I already have someone in mind who will act as a first subject of test, then I will perform it on myself. I would be happy to share with you my intentions, Yasad, but again, I'm still meditating on the finer points before I actually perform the
Yeah.
ritual.
Yes, I think that we have a couple of things that need, we need to get together. Firstly is unquestionable proof about this third party being the ones that, framed us, I guess you could say. So that is one. Perhaps then learning of the third party's intentions. Additionally,
Cast your gaze.
getting our research into core repair, getting that more fully finalized, which all of these things take time. Regardless, we aren't going to solve this in a night. It's something that takes time, takes dedication, takes being careful in the meantime.
Yes. If you wish to read my intentions, I can share them with you. It's a process that should, with the way I have prepared it, work on even the most damaged cores. That goes up to and includes the cores of people who have lost a full school of magic. Now, whether that will actually work, I don't know. That's just the theory. Any core manipulation is dangerous. It's difficult. It's not something to be done lightly. Core manipulation can lead to final death in all cases, because if a core is unraveled or moved to a point of no return, it's possible. Now, this isn't likely without significant manipulation, but say, for instance, if you tried to unwind the entropic thread of an entropic human, it would likely not go well. It is intrinsically a part of them. Core manipulation has its risks, and as such it takes a skilled practitioner to ensure that all things go well. It takes a great deal of finesse.
Karina?
You want to volunteer for this?
Yes.
If you have done your practice, I would like my car repaired.
I will do all that I can.
Absolutely.
It's important research that Green is doing. There are many people here who, due to either ancient past or recent history, have damage to their magical beings, I suppose you could say.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
I will reveal this much, Evangeline, in an offer of trust that I hope will not bite me. Having to reconstitute a second time after the battle during the battle, after such a short time and without the opportunity to recover myself, did significant damage to my core. It is the nature of using magic in combat with such ferocity. You strain yourself to a point where forced reconstitution, even if you do manage to come back, can come at a cost. I have paid that cost, and so this research has moved from something that I have theorized to something I need to succeed for my own well-being.
So that's why I was taught to use so little by my sire.
It is. You put yourself at risk the more you use.
Then you should know that my core is near as weak as itself. It's shattered twice by now. Well, once it was mainly a crack, the first time it was actual shattering.
I doubt that. You would be dead if it had shattered. Fractures you could recover from, many of them even, but true shattering is final death.
Cores can
You
be.
should talk to Emily about this. She was the one that repaired me 200 years ago. See
Cores can
person.
be difficult, and especially, was it 200 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Then it is possible that, well, with the birth of Axiom, the magic's changed, and thus the way that cores functioned then might be different from now. After all, well, many of us here have wheels for cores now. That's just how it is. The magic changed.
That we do. That we do.
They spin.
Very slowly,
It's
but
just a
that they
fact.
do. Now, on another topic, as for fighting, at least for the moment, of course, the usual wisdom of travel in groups applies, but at the moment, Dorian, we're in a tricky bit if we are unwilling to take offensive action, but of course they will when they see us if we are known cult members. It's a difficult place to be in. We can make use of disguises, make use of neutral ground, but it is difficult to feel safe in traveling. Now, for the fighters, I can fight, but I am no fighter. For those like you, Alexei and Yasad, Dorian, do you wish for them to strike offensively when they have the chance? Or for the moment, do you wish for us to hold our blades?
My recommendation is to keep fighting to the battlefields of Moti whenever possible.
Yes, keep them on the back foot, force them to fight on their own territories that they cannot fight.
But
It also helps prevent them from, I suppose, feeling safe in that all of Verdoran is their territory. If they can't even hold their, well, most inner sanctums, then why patrol further than that?
Here's what I would suggest. Here's what I will ask of you all who feel up to it. Evangeline, this does not apply to you, and Corazon, I know you don't have a wish to fight. But
Actually, I have changed my mind about that matter.
have you?
I have.
Well, I won't tell you not to. Just understand that as human, you will be at greater risk, but we would be more than happy to have your help in this matter.
That I am well aware.
Alright, do be careful.
Oh, mosquito! I'm sorry.
Well, thankfully, it only damaged some of the shrubbery.
Foliage, yes, I'll fix it up eventually. All right.
What was that?
Are you skilled? Are you a skilled human though?
I would like to think myself as somewhat.
Because it is very easy to fall in these large-scale battles. I would
Yes.
suggest, if you are skilled, to try and take smaller engagements. Much less risk of getting hit by multiple void spells.
Here's what I would advise. Corazon, to test yourself, spar against Yasad and Alexei. They are both quite skilled fighters in their own regard.
Wonderful.
It will be a good point of test. The three of you, as well as Lysander and Kesmet, group up wherever possible, scout into Mortium, sow chaos, kill Draculin, close the rifts, take the Stygia, kill anyone who tries to stop you. Keep the fighting there.
I can help to some extent, but given my prisoner situation, I'm still...
I have found a few more high purity prisoners, Yasad, and there are those ones that I captured that remain in the estate in the Cursed Forest that I can bring over to you, if you wish, once this meeting is concluded. The Draculin.
Draculin should have me sufficient in that. I just need to find a scholar specimen.
Yes, I don't have any on hand, regrettably. If you wish for a delivery of blood from our own prisoner, if you simply provide fish, I will tap it as much as you need.
Noted.
Probably your
I
best
might
bet.
just utilize vermin nest, see if
Yes.
I can't catch a mosquito that's taken
You
a sip
can-
of the dollar.
You can do that, though we are not going to leave you unsupplied in this effort. But
Okay.
we keep the fighting in their territory. We don't allow them to feel safe. If we keep them busy defending Mortium, that means they're not scouring the roads of Farbane like they own the place, like they are this cycle.
But
I am
it's also the
currently-
nature of the rifts, though. They will. Why would they be as prone to defending Mortium if, well, there are no rifts occurring?
So, with that said, I believe I have found. I am working on a way into their inner sanctum. I found somewhere that I might be able to climb up into Dracula's garden, potentially. I will speak to someone on this, but it's a potential. So I will let you know if I can pull it off. I'll need to try it out myself, though. And it may be a one-way trip, depending on how this...
I see.
Actually, no.
Don't. What I will say, in the fighting, prioritize survival over damage. Always prioritize getting out rather than putting them to knee. Your own safety is paramount here, particularly in enemy territory. I know that you all were not here, but there was a long time where reconstitution was an impossibility, a guarantee of death if you fell. Dorian and I have lost a lot of friends because people couldn't come back. People who got a dreadhorn charge to the stomach that their body could not handle. I know that reconstitution is an option now. I know that things are not what they once were, but please don't take risks that you can't come back from. Don't chase when you could rather walk away. Do what you can, but mind the objective. We are to sow fear in them as much as we are to actually inflict damage. They have sown fear in us by attacking us, so much so that I have to wear a hood when I travel and pretend to be someone else. We can do the same to them, not through killing them, but by forcing them to defend their own territory, a territory that they can no longer wall off because we have torn the wall to shreds.
If we could take down the gate at the northern part of Mortium, well, my fortress would actually be able to be a good outpost at that point.
It can be a good next step for us in terms of making sure that, well, if our goal is to make sure that they aren't able to walk around like they own the place by keeping them focused internal, then the more openings the better.
Yes, that is entirely true. The more you can keep them focused inward, you can sow chaos and then leave, sow chaos and then leave. One discordant act can spread and draw the attention of many of them. That drawn attention keeps them busy, keeps them out of our hair. Coruscant, I will mention, with regards to the disguise, as do the others, don't say it to anyone. It needs to stay. The people on this circle right now are the only ones who know that I will be appearing as Hannah. Make sure it stays that way. Thank you.
Oh, most certainly. I don't have anyone to gossip with anyways.
Oh, you are always welcome here. Yes, that is what I will ask of you all. I am no index, I am merely the doctor. I just have an eye for this sort of thing, I suppose. I see the fights from a distance, so I guess I try to see the big picture. The big picture here is our own survival, and the big picture is keeping them busy, and keeping them from attacking us on the road and feeling like Farbane is their home. I don't know, Dorian. Do you have anything you want to say?
I believe I've already said much of what I want to say, but we have to be very careful with how we move here. After all, war is won with more than just steel, as was recently spoken by Thanavi. We are unfortunately on a bit of a stage at the same time. Everyone watches how we work here. If we work in a way that convinces everyone that we're the monsters they believe us to be, then, well, it will be easier and easier for them to justify to themselves crushing us into the dirt. We all know that's not who we are, and we need to prove it.
And how do we do that?
Absolutely.
I don't think sowing more chaos in Mortium is going to do that, but it's either or, it seems.
I believe that it is, at the very least, better to keep things to active battlegrounds than to go out and hunt the roads.
Maybe.
Yes, this is still war, so
I have an
keeping
idea.
things on the battlefield is better.
What is your idea, Alexei?
Maybe there have been some who haven't attained the knowledge from their generals. I don't know if we could help them attain that knowledge by slaying those generals for them, but there is definitely a few that are probably afraid to go into Mortium. Just an idea. It could draw a lot of attention from Nocturne, but
Yes,
the general
and you would-
populace, yes.
but this would put a lot of people at risk.
Oh, I'd go
I
so
don't.
far as to say if we provide this service, we would have them, if they are vampiric in nature, morph into rats and hide within a certain distance.
I
We
think,
could also perhaps provide it
I
subtly.
have no strong feelings one
yes.
way or the
So, if we're to risk our necks in battle to close these rifts, would it not be fair to do the same to gain publicity? Or, I mean, good faith with the general public?
I do know of people who have tried to gather resources but been unable to. If we offer our services as escorting them and helping them gather said resources, and then should things go sour, distracting the defense force while they, run off.
I am
think-
indifferent.
It would paint us in a more protective light rather than
Of course.
Exactly.
antagonizing.
And
Well,
you get what you
although
wanted.
There's the problem of the fact that the cult has been on the defensive this entire time. It has not changed people's opinion.
Well, we will be defending not just ourselves, but for the sake of others by doing this. It will be more personal. It will impact them. To them, they just see us and two parties battling, but when it's something that they want or they're put at risk, then it matters who steps in front of the blade and who swings it.
Yes, I actually think this is going to be a great idea. Because then you also get what you want. The fighting happens in Mortium and it stays in Mortium. The rest, if they're occupied with us in Mortium, they will not be able to terrorize Dunley and Farvane in that time.
Keeping the roads a higher chance of
Safer.
safety.
Sounds like a good introductory plan at the very least, until, others of the faith can gather.
Yes, this
I
is.
do know that there are spiritual concerns bothering some of the others, so this is what we can do for now, and we will inform you if things change.
As you wish.
Yes. The plan for now, Dorian, if you agree to it, is to go into Mortium, go together. You know who each other are. Make sure you never go alone. Sigil up, fight together, work together, come home together.
Alright.
Perhaps we can't exactly make it obvious, hello, we are offering this service upon the Waygates. I do think it's important for us to converse with those in our circle, see who has expressed frustration at being unable to enter Mortium and gather resources and that sort of thing, and, well, offer it on a one-on-one basis rather than, well,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, same thing.
I am aware of a conversation we had at a certain neutral ground recently where people were talking about how they were trying to get things from Mortium and struggling.
Yes.
You know the circle you saw, you were there.
Oh, that circle. I thought we were referencing more sigils and whatnot for immediate circles, so I was kind of left sitting here being like, well, you see.
No, broader social circles.
And I do recommend not using, not immediately going to the way gates. I do
What's
like that. Doing the way gates and advertising if we ever do this sort of service, as that is always going to at least increase probably the conflicts we find. If it's meant to cause more chaos, it's like lighting a fire to say, hey, they're just gonna be more expectant of when or those arrive and when they leave.
Yes, if we are quiet about it, then, well, we are more likely to be able to actually help people get in and out of Mortium and get the supplies they need.
Exactly. I say that this will be a more personal service to those we actually meet and express it rather than
As you wish.
public. Though it will still reach the public for those who hear us, but they only hear it through immediate measures.
So it shall be.
Indeed.
No. I believe that Koraz Khan. I'm never going to tell someone that they cannot join the battle on account of that they are human. Simply understand the risks. I think you, since we're here, should spar with Yasad and Alexei before.
I would like to do that. I've been wishing I had
Mhm.
people that I could practice with.
Then come.
I am.
That is not
Oh.
the right way. You will have to go down. Dorian, can you
Yeah, I'd
please?
rather
Are you
not
alright?
break my legs quite yet.
I
I'm
will.
I made it.
I will go down. I'll help him back in. Dorian, can you lead the others to
No,
the
I
sparring
made it
ring?
inside.
Yes.
I do have it. It is.
Oh.
Oh,
Ow.
that was very far. Are you alright to go around?
I'll manage.
I want to show you what I've done so far.
Ah, I see. I would love to see it. So, after the sparring, perhaps?
Yes, please.
Alright.
Oh, leave me. Alright, see you soon. Oh. Okay, that's definitely that one.
to tell how good I did, but
Huh,
so it's
well
alright
fought.
given my limitations.
Go ahead, Koraskan. He is an exceptionally skilled fighter, so do your best.
I will
This is
admit,
simply just a
it's been a while
test.
since I fought someone.
You said you have potions active?
None.
Oh, it's fine. I don't have any.
Something being said regarding enhancements.
A lot of magics. I see you're also in need of stronger magical jewels.
Yes, well, for both of you, you will have access to the forge for a price, for the sake of improving your own.
Well, Koroskan's essence itself does not seem well suited for casting magics.
No, and not
No.
truly. You.
I think if I
I
trained
do
you,
not have my preferred weapon on me, sadly.
Hmm.
Oh, I can attempt to try.
what's your preferred weapon?
I use twin blades.
Ooh. I don't
But
have any.
I've been trying to get better with pistols. Give me a moment.
Did Eva and Hannah depart, Dorian?
I'm not certain.
Alright.
I may want to change out.
Did you all
Especially
see
if
where Eva and Hannah went? Did they depart?
I believe they. Yeah, I'm
I,
not.
They're still
I
here.
saw they were still on top of the
Ah, they're
tower.
likely
Lexi, if you wouldn't
speaking.
mind spelling the arena magics, that way I can give Koroskan a round.
Sure.
I will say, let's see. A tip, yeah. I'm only use
Are you good to
Unholy
go?
and Chaos. I'm good to go to practice, yes.
Have you gotten the knowledge from Elena yet? The Stygian altar.
No. I have
Uh,
not.
Yeah, that may explain it.
And that will be a significant improvement to your capabilities. Barbados is
able to make
quite
that work.
fond of that bit of magic.
Such rich flavor.
Over reliance on magic can Yes. It's gonna leave. You like. Particularly with the pistols. Notice how the first shot's pretty slow.
Foes gather at my castle.
Alternatively, you can just opt to wield a second weapon for when you're using your veil.
Yes, you can. But not all the time, right?
As to what they must do in order to gain that Leviathan's favor. And that doesn't... It's more than a personality to have a goal.
It depends on the nature of the tasks. The tasks can simply be a reflection of a personality. For example, I would say that... let's get hypothetical, where if you had a Leviathan of flowers, for example, and it gave you a task to plant flowers, could that be because it likes flowers, or is that because it wants more flowers in the world, or it gets a little messy, where you might have a hard time fully deducing which is which, but in our experience within the Cult of Decay, what we have deduced is that Leviathans, while they do have likes and dislikes and wants and personalities, they don't necessarily have grand scale goals. The request to plant the flowers is because they like flowers, not because there's some sort of grand plan.
Of course.
Would you then say that a Leviathan would request you to get rid of something it doesn't like?
I don't think.
I would say... So... Again, it really does depend on the Leviathan. Did you say someone or something? Just to make sure I understand.
I doubt it could distinguish between the two, but something, yes.
So, when it comes to something it doesn't like, most of the times in my experiences, it's dictated more by want than, well, disdain, if that makes sense. However, again, my experiences are narrow.
I see.
Is there a specific experience that is informing these questions that might help me better understand what is going on?
Maybe one relationship is the illusion one making people go a little funny. I kind of wonder whether that's either the illusion Leviathan itself is paranoid, or it just likes to do that.
I see. Well, in that case, when it comes to Leviathans and how they tend to interact with those who, well, interact with their altars, it isn't easy to reach out to them. It isn't something that is for the faint of heart, I suppose you could say. It is something that a lot of times the Leviathans will test you. They will see if you can withstand something related to, well, them. They want to know if the person reaching out to them is someone they want to continue associating with in one way or another. Now, what that means depends on, well, the Leviathan.
So the illusion Leviathan is testing to see if you can withstand insanity?
Perhaps. I've never communed with the illusion Leviathan myself, and at this point I would be unable to.
If I had to make a supposition, illusion... Well, the illusion Leviathan would probably want to test if you can withstand its illusions. Something of that sort. Seems sensible, at least to me.
Interesting. But to provide an example, as you requested, of a Leviathan essentially I cannot say as to whether it was the Leviathan's direct orders or just simply an interpretation that the cult had of its wants and needs. But there was a tribe of people in Valgrath that the Frost Leviathan, so as to assume, had requested their cult to occupy killing all those within. I cannot understand the motivation behind it, whatever personality it might have, or
I will say
it
that
stands to reason that any Leviathan could simply request of its followers anything in the world, and they would do as it says for the power they would gain from it.
well, it really does, in the end, depend on the cult. There are many faiths that found themselves transitioning to worship of Axiom as Axiom made itself known to the world. Not all of these faiths have good intentions. Not all of them get along with each other. A cult of Axiom is, well, it's not guaranteed to get along necessarily with another cult of Axiom. If anything, sometimes they come into conflict if Leviathans who are, well, get too territorial at each other, I suppose. It is... And at the end of the day, those who worship Leviathans are still people who have their own wants and goals and desires and limits and so on and so forth. It is not necessarily surprising to me that there would be a cult of Axiom out there that would interpret the wants to such a violent degree and then have no qualms with enacting them. Tragic as it is, it's not necessarily surprising. I do hope it's not the same cult I interacted with when I was up in Belgrade temporarily. Going on a bit of a journey of discovery, finding the faith myself.
Let's see.
But I do say that because there are multiple cults to multiple, well, Leviathans. There was briefly a cult of Axiom up in Belgrade that was actually a, well, they were looking for the Shadow Leviathan there because of the long winters.
What would that benefit them?
The Shadow Leviathan?
Yes. What would the Shadow Leviathan do to benefit them in the long winters?
I see. So I think that you may be coming at it from a slightly different perspective than myself. See, it isn't necessarily about what benefits them in terms of worship of the Shadow Leviathan. It is what calls to them. What school of magic do they resonate with? What school and perspective upon the world do they feel is, well, them, in a sense? It is that calling that leads one to a Leviathan. And it is that belief that, well, it isn't necessarily something that is sought for power, at least in my opinion, by worshippers of Axiom that are truly worshippers of Axiom and not simply seeking power. Instead, it is a desire to fulfill the goals of Axiom themselves, which is the magic itself. Magic itself, in my opinion, has a will. And this will is split into different aspects, those being the hand. The hands are all different from each other. They have different wants and personalities and intentions. These hands can sometimes come into conflict, just like the, well, schools of magic themselves can conflict with each other. It is messy, but so is magic. In the end, I think all good followers of Axiom are in it for the purpose of ensuring that magic is as healthy as it can be. That magic flourishes and thrives, and that it is, well, I suppose, improving the world. That the veins glow brighter than they did the day before. However, I am no stranger to the concept that there are those who do simply get into it for power. But that is not the position of myself in the Cult of Decay at the very least.
I see. What can you tell me of the personalities of the Leviathans currently in Barterin, like the entropic Leviathan that you follow?
So, when it comes to their personalities, that is, in fact, well, it is sacred discovery to learn these things. It isn't something that I necessarily feel comfortable just spelling out for someone. Because it is by taking those careful steps into the pool and understanding a Leviathan that you, well, both express your understanding of the school itself and start to get to know a being that is far larger than you could ever be. And through that gentle, careful understanding, you might find that your resonance that you suspected you had is very accurate. And you might formalize that with becoming bound. But it is also entirely possible that your understanding of the school of magic, what you want that magic to be, you step into that pool gradually, carefully, and You find that's not what the hand is. At which point you can retreat. There are generalists in Axiom worship, after all. People who simply stick to the belief in the strength of magic, the health of magic, who forsake specifically binding themselves. Even if being bound to a Leviathan is a holy act and the deepest act of devotion one can make, it's not for everyone. And, well, oh, go ahead. I've been talking at length.
No worries. Yes, go ahead, love.
I believe the Keepers play a very important role in the magical ecosystem. I did not fully understand it until recently, but, well, I think their position is sacred in a way. I would like to be friends with all of them, but I think some of them hate me. Some are friendly, though. I don't know who that is. Ah, I do know who that is.
I think I do have one more question, if you're done, Dreamer. So, if you can't just tell me the personality of Leviathan, what would you tell me as someone who is interested in joining the cult to set expectations as to what it would even be like to follow this Leviathan and its teachings and what I should expect my relationship with it should be?
It's a good question. Dorian?
Well, in part, it would depend on which Leviathan you were interested in building that starting relationship with. If you were interested in, well, the Entropic Leviathan, the Shadow Leviathan, or, I suppose, although the advice would be incredibly general, the Illusion Leviathan.
Yes, those are the 3 Leviathans that are here that you could actively worship. If you wished to
At least
worship.
that we're aware of.
Yes, that we're aware of.
We had no idea the Illusion Leviathan's influence reached this far until, well,
Yes, until it's been
just recently.
proven that it does respond. Well, as we usually do things, depending on the Leviathan you wish to take an interest in, we advise that you build an altar. The details of that altar sort of depend on which Leviathan it's an altar to, as the altar must be specific. That is how you begin your worship. It will become your place to make offerings, to attempt to make contact and be heard. we are of the belief that we can provide guidance, but a degree of things is you are meant to learn as you go along the nature of the Leviathan, what they like, what they dislike, and form your own connection with them.
Yes,
I don't even know which one to choose. I know very little of magic.
Well then, I would be happy to give a general magic, rundown of the schools in general, and what schools might appeal to you.
Why not?
But I believe, I apologize, I'm not sure I know your name, you just stood up. What's your name?
Oh, Teague, if you want to know about the illusion Leviathan, I've been talking to Nasander, and I know kind of what his attempt at contacting it have been.
Yes. The advice I would give, generally speaking, is to be prepared for some sort of adversity whenever you first reach out. Or at least when you reach out in general. It's not always when you first reach out, but in any case, be prepared for some sort of adversity, as well as starting smaller rather than bigger as you learn. There are sometimes people who have tried to start with incredibly grand showings, and it's best not to catch that much attention whenever you're taking your first steps, I suppose you can say. Not too small is also accurate, but, it's a balance, like most things are. In any case, you mentioned it in a way that sounded potentially hypothetical, but if you are interested in, joining us to gain more clear tutelage on the matter, we would be happy to assist you with something.
Thank you for the offer. I will let you know if I want to take you up on it. And thank you for your time. I appreciate you being willing to answer my questions.
Of course. Another thing that we do is, we as a cult of Axiom do consecrate altars.
Absolutely.
So if you decide to make an altar in your own home to a specific Leviathan, then would like to see it consecrated, let us know. We can inspect it, make sure that it is appropriate for a Leviathan of your choosing, if it is, one that we have institutional knowledge of. I admit we are still learning some when it comes to the illusion Leviathan, but
as you wish.
When it comes to entropy and shadow, we have a decent understanding. More than decent, that's how I talk, but you know what I mean.
Yes. There's something I do wish to add, since the idea of joining, I know, is something that causes a lot of people hesitance. In a technical sense, you have zero need to join the cult to actually make contact or worship the Leviathans. You can do it on your own. It'll work. It's just a matter of study, guidance, camaraderie, community. But in a literal sense, you can contact the Leviathans on your own. You can attempt all of this on your own. Ultimately, that's how we all got started.
Yes, although it would be, alright, although it might be, perhaps one would say, tactically sound to say, oh, I can't tell you anything about how to interact with these Leviathans until you agree to our call. Truthfully, we would hate for people to get hurt by interacting with Leviathans in a way that is unsafe. They can be dangerous after all.
If they are the hand of the School of Magic, as you say, that they embody, then That seems to be a whole lot of power.
Well, I suppose
You know, there would be danger in that.
the way I conceptualize them, and I think Dorian's of the same mind on this part, is they are very large, they're daemons of magic, and like daemons, as all demons do, they like the magic of the type of daemon they are. These ones are just very, very big and don't have bodies.
Yes, my belief is that, well...
Oh, I have a lot of witch dust too. Don't touch it.
My belief is that whenever Axiom came into being at the end of the era, there were select daemons that were currently without form who were chosen because they most resonated with their school in particular and ascended essentially to, well, become hands. This is my current interpretation, however, this is a very young faith. We're still discovering all the time. Who knows if I'm correct in this assumption? I might be entirely wrong, but it's what I believe.
I see.
See, I haven't told you guys everything. Well, Dreamer partially knows, but I'm trying to organize a meeting there's been a illusion cultist that showed up. And I'm trying to get into contact with that one.
I did see the illusion cultist. I was there alongside them briefly after that werewolf destroyed the altar. At least that's what Noctum says. There was Izel there as well, and Velos and Ulrich, so I didn't get to stick around too long before they drew blade on me. Which
I had to
run.
Noctum or Izel.
I see. Well, very well then. Regardless, Noctum did strike at me that night and draw blood. Thankfully, I was able to escape that time.
Well, I suppose it's good to have a collaborating story when it comes to whether or not it was a werewolf that broke the altar.
Well, I do trust you, Teak. You have no motive to say that it was anything that it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a werewolf, and then we stuck around for a while, then mosquitoes did it a second time.
Oh dear. Yes, the illusion cultists may have simply been coming down from the north, so it may be difficult to get in contact with them, but I suppose if you leave letters or something at the altar, maybe they'll check by.
Yeah, I've done exactly that, just waiting for a good meeting time.
Yes, I just hope they're not trying to encroach on our territory. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I've got to come up with a good list to ask them, and I'm not sure what's going to come of it.
I suppose one other piece of advice then I would have for people looking to figure out which Leviathan speaks to them. Beyond just a basic understanding of the school itself, there is, well, resonances in general that you have to keep in mind. Sometimes these resonances are a being, for example, or a type of person, a personality type, or, well, the clearest example and most obvious example I think I could give is that the entropic Leviathan does have a fondness for, well, those touched by entropy. The entropic Leviathan has a fondness for bottling.
As you wish.
I think this is obvious enough that it isn't really necessarily something that ruins that process of discovery, but it could help with, well, coming to understand better, in general, how they work.
Alright.
Now, this doesn't mean it's impossible for those who aren't rotlings to commune, but, well, it might look different.
Right. I have very little understanding of magic in general. What I do know is that storm magic has come naturally to me, and as Fae it seems illusion as well.
Of
Though
course.
I am not, I do not have any particular liking to any sort of magic in, not sure I would want to pursue any sort of connection with any Leviathans connected to those schools of magic. Right, yes.
Well, we are our own circle of mostly Fae.
We are.
Hmm.
Of course.
Well, if you wish for aid in dealing with the illusion of Leviathan, then we are happy to provide what we can, even if we don't have quite as much institutional knowledge, I should say, but even if we don't have quite as much institutional knowledge, it is still important to have people there to support you while you interact with these beings, as they are rather difficult to deal with sometimes. I'll say it straight out. It's important to have support. And that's really what we as fellow cultists of Axiom can provide. If you are, well, trying to take those baby steps and something goes wrong and you need help, having people there to help you is important.
Yes. Worship. The word of guidance that we always give is to go slow. Please go slow. If you give too much, be careful.
Right.
And even if you don't want
Well,
to
again,
join,
thank you.
of course.
Of course.
Regardless of whether you join, if you wish for us to look over your altar to see that it is more or less appropriate, we would be happy to do so.
And if you would like tips on altars relating to, well, a specific school, let us know. It is...
I do appreciate it. The offer for help, the time you spent answering my questions, everything.
Of course. We... Oh?
Oh?
Oh, what do you mean, Dreamer? Oh, is that the...
Yeah, sometimes people move them around a little bit in order to... I think it's fixed now.
It's fixed now, I believe.
Oh, I see. Yes, sometimes people move around the poofs in order to face each other and have a conversation, and then they don't put them back right.
Dorian, what if I move the couch into the center of the circle?
Don't. Is the couch a circle?
No.
Then it doesn't go in the center of the circle.
Absolutely.
You are so very right, Dorian.
You asked that question knowing very well how it would go.
Yes, I did, because I loved him. And Dorian
I
is
love you too, Karina.
he is a dear friend and family of mine across many years. See, you can follow him in the circle. It's his natural state of being.
Would you say it's your favorite shape, Dorian?
Yes, it is my favorite shape.
I ask that you take a truly wild guess as to what his favorite color is.
I wonder, could it be purple?
I don't know, Dorian, is it?
It is indeed purple.
I'm just so lucky.
Yes, perhaps it is 8, but, well, they're also all circles in themselves. And
It resembles a circle.
See,
it
that's the
resembles
thing.
a circle. It's made of circles, it resembles a circle.
I just
And also...
realized.
Oh?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is perfectly symmetrical, and I didn't notice anything astray.
Alright. I'm worried, but I will choose to believe you for my own sake of sanity.
Well, here's the thing. The circle room has so many circles in it. Not only are the tables circles, the tables which are circles form a circle, atop which are lights that are circles which form a circle, beneath which are cushions which are circles
The
which
only
form a
thing here
circle.
that's not a circle is the carpets.
The carpets have circles in their
square.
centers. Look. Look.
They have.
They're not quite circles.
They're close
truthfully.
enough.
In the center.
They're close enough. They're 8 pointed for.
I feel like you can't say a star is close enough to a
It
circle, unfortunately.
has 8 points for the 8 schools of magic, Dorian. It's obvious. You paid me so much. You paid me so much to make them, Dorian.
Paid you?
Yes, I'm the tailor. Didn't you forget that? You wanted the carpet a certain
Is
way.
a square, but there's not much you can do about that.
Well, you paid me in
Yes,
silk.
unfortunately, we've been thinking about it. If there's any way we can make the outside carpet more circle, but I don't think there is.
Well, there's a
Something I can
well.
think of, but it's not. I don't know how good it would look, but it would be a circle.
I mean, we could move the
Unfortunately, I also
carpets
do
in a
want it to be
little
aesthetic.
bit. Yeah, if I moved the corner carpet in a little bit, it would be more circular. But then I think the rug, we'd lose some of the rug. We'd have to move them out of the way.
Circles are just nice, what can I say?
Yes, I know you're very, very fond of. See, now we're going in opposite direction.
Fun things happen in the Rotto.
Yes.
We try to have a good time here, and we usually do when Noctum doesn't knock down our front door and try to kill us about it.
Absolutely.
Part of that is not coming in all the time.
Okay, I know, it's bad luck, Dorian. It's happened enough
You've
time.
had a rough time of it lately.
We
I can
really,
understand.
we really have.
Yes. Yes, it's been rough, admittedly. But that's what happens when someone breaks a ceasefire. Is someone not us? Very much.
Unfortunately, I believe the other side thinks the same, so...
Yes, but, well, for us it's true.
And they'll say the same.
But
We are working on getting proof that it wasn't us, because it wasn't us.
It wasn't us.
can't say I believe it was anyone, but
I
it's
mean,
possible that
we
it's
can.
just someone on one of the sides who decided to break the ceasefire
I mean,
and
do you wanna?
won't ever get the blame because the entire sides are just gonna fight. My conspiracy theories don't need to be what
I
station
mean,
it's about right now.
Dorian, do you want to just tell them what we think happened? Because we're pretty sure happened. It makes sense. It makes so much sense when you think about it for like 3 seconds.
We have a theory. Okay, so there was this man who apparently showed up.
Wow, Dreamer, that's so curious that you mentioned that because we have just the third party in mind.
We were informed that apparently these people from this company showed up and said war is good for business.
And also they want the war.
shortly-
Also they deal in witch dust.
Oh.
Also there were
I
there were witch dust.
think I heard Hannah say something about this.
So yeah, there's this person at Sterling Acquisitions.
That's who we think did it. At first we thought that perhaps Nocturne had just blown up their own walls in order to blame us for it and have an excuse
That's
to.
kind of hardly reasonable. Not all of them are very happy about this war existing in the first place.
Yes, well, that's what we thought initially, but we've since gotten a lot of evidence about a third party, and now it's like, well, we know it wasn't us, and this makes more sense than Nocturne having done it. So, even if it is a conspiracy, it makes more sense.
It does. It does make more sense than Nocturne blowing up their own land. Yeah.
Not
Oh,
give him
God.
800
Fucking tree.
It's Cypress's ridiculous tree.
I was gonna give him 800 witch dust,
Please don't.
but I want a weapon.
If you, maybe I don't know, Dorian. Maybe we can cut a deal or something if they're really willing to give up that much witch dust. I don't know. Just to keep it out of their hands.
If you'll offer the same for a little bit less, then absolutely.
Let us
100% over him.
let us talk about it because it's normally that's the sort of
Yes,
thing
it
that we
is.
only offer to those within our ranks because we do offer trades for
if
those
you
within our
want to
ranks.
join our rank,
Yes,
we will prove who is the one. Join our ranks. We are working to figure out who it was who actually started this war because it wasn't us.
it really wasn't us. Yes, look, we're going to have to talk about it because that's to see if we can get that approved, if Isher will let it happen. But it's better that we keep it out of their hands if they're really gonna make witch dust bombs.
That's a lot of witch dust that we
It's a
are
lot
willing
of
to
witch
give
dust.
for such a weapon.
Yeah, I got a lot of witch dust. I don't quite have 800, but I'm getting close.
I will help you get the rest. I love getting witch dust. I find so much.
No, I don't think our sister cult would have done this.
No, they wouldn't.
Even if they are, well, more war-oriented, but
Oh,
and
what
that's
if we
just
give
the
them-
nature of Shadow. It is not necessarily their goal to get us embroiled in a conflict to end a
Yes,
ceasefire.
particularly when some of their own were at risk at the ritual, just alongside.
If they're using the witch dust you give them to make bombs, and you said witch dust could be infused with a certain element, then what if we gave them a little bit, and then all of a sudden more bombs start blowing up? We could test them if they were.
You
witch dust we
could,
gave to
Other
you
them.
people
could.
are also giving witch dust.
Yes,
I don't think we
other-
need to give them our witch dust to learn that.
Yes, just
Well,
let
it would
us.
be marked witch dust that we've marked.
You
ourselves.
could,
It ends up in a bomb.
guess.
Well, we don't know if they're going to be making more bombs or not. The bombs were used for a very specific purpose of blaming us for bombing them.
Oh yeah, they'd probably check it and change it, and take off whatever marks we put on it.
True.
It's quite
Better just not
tragic.
give them more ammunition unless we have to for your weapons, T.
As you wish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, I already found the cool spear for fishing. This is a good fishing spear.
A fit.
I would recommend. We do offer weapons for those who are of the faith and assisting us. It doesn't need to be on the battlefield.
I mean, for instance, look, now you see me. Now you don't.
I mean, yes, mostly I did not see you, but there was an error about
it's
you
not
that was,
perfect.
that I was able to track.
Fine.
Very impressive, though. Very
If
impressive.
I must, then now you see me. Now you don't.
You're over there. Oh, now I really can't see you now, actually.
She went
There you
through
are.
the wall.
Well, that is some of the entropy I have learned to cast as a result of my own devotion to the entropy Leviathan.
I see.
It can manifest in
If there
many
is a way
forms.
to deal with you without necessarily joining your ranks or just as allies rather than
So it shall be.
allies in the faith, I suppose, but as friends.
Well, we would be happy for friends and allies.
Yes.
Would you like to be officially like?
Oh.
Okay, I'm brainstorming here. Would you like to be allies of Axiom that we can call upon if we're in need, but not necessarily, ranked members of the faith trying to, move up in the world? I suppose you could say.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, though we should definitely bring it past May and Hestia. Yes, that would be something to discuss with May and Hestia, as they are the heads of our sigil and the circle. Hey, we're the circle, your favorite shape.
Yes, I honestly think. Listen. All right. If you have interest in the illusion Leviathan, and there is, well, we don't necessarily know what's going on with the illusion Leviathan. If there are people who are interested in exploring it and, well, gaining that connection, that would be interested in actually being, allies of the current cults of Axiom that are present in these lands, that would actually be really, really good for us because, well, we aren't really sure what's going on with the cults of Mountain. Well,
That would actually, that would work if there are a number of people, Lysander you mentioned, who take a significant interest in illusions. If you all work together, it might as well effectively be a third branch. A very new one, but still.
Lysander and Pasithea and possibly Yasad are the ones that I can think of.
I don't think Yasad's for the illusion one. Nasander definitely, and Pasithea.
Or
Nasander said
Yasad
Pasithea had a
would
very
be
good
mad.
reaction.
I was told by Hannah that Yasad had made some successful connection with the illusion Leviathan, but Pasithea definitely did.
If you want, we can talk more about the illusion. I know a little bit from talking with Nasander.
I am not at all saying that I would want to do so myself at all, but thank you for the offer of help, and that is an interesting prospect. In any case, if there is a way for us to make dealings with you as allies and possibly come to your aid, not on the battlefield, but in other ways,
of course,
that might be something we should talk about with May and Hestia.
I think that's a from our
To speak for
end,
them a little bit, I don't think they'd want anybody joining in fighting. I know I like fighting,
It's
but they
definitely
don't
not.
want me joining. But
No.
gathering stuff, materials, I think those are the good things.
there are many,
And
many
there
ways
are-
to be evade that aren't just picking up a
Yes.
sword.
Exactly. Although it is true, we need help on the battlefield at the same time.
Yes.
We do have the Cult of the Damned, and the Cult of the Damned is very good at one thing. Well, they're very good at many things, but one of the things they're very good at is
Yes.
Absolutely.
skeletons.
Yes, and minions. They can create soldiers where necessary. They did so to assist us in our recent assault on Mortium, so we can shore up our numbers where necessary.
I can't
Yes.
say I'm good at skeletons or fighting,
Well, as we
Yes,
said,
but I
there's
am good at gathering materials if you need any of them.
Yes,
That
and,
we
and
definitely-
more humanitarian
definitely do.
forms of aid. We do need also. Please.
we really
Also
I'm
do.
on my hands. We
Dorian,
do need more humanitarian forms of aid also.
Dorian, it's okay.
Sorry, I'm being dramatic.
You're being very dramatic, but yes, medical supplies are always useful for the hospital. Silver ore has been an ask, and spectral dust is something we've needed a lot of as of late. You mentioned the fishing rod. I've been handing them out in exchange for 20 fish of every variety.
And if we get that Allies of Axiom thing worked out, we
Yes.
might be able to work something
So,
out
with
for
regards
weapon.
to scourge stones, this may feel a bit circular, to use the word. We do offer trades for scourge stone on an ongoing basis, as well as trades for specifically spectral dust, which we are happy to deal in. I have previously posted them on. I did previously post. Yes, I think we're doing 100 spectral dust for 1,000 ghost crystal and 200 gem dust, or 250. I think it's 250.
This way.
If May and Hestia are apprehensive about the prospect but willing to talk it out, let them know to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to hash out the details.
Wonderful.
Yes, as for the weapon, that is something we're going to have to take under more careful consideration, truth be told. It's a large large ask, but given the position, I know. That is why we are considering it at all. Just we have to discuss.
The main reason why it's a large ask whenever someone is not specifically among our ranks in one way, shape, or form is that we have less confidence that it won't somehow end up in enemy hands.
Quite so.
Yes, exactly.
I think here's a thought in my mind, Dorian, and we can run this by Ishra maybe. If you all prove, as you know, in your own way, sort of show that you don't mean us harm and that you want to assist us in these other aspects, then I think that would go a long way towards giving us confidence that if we were to part with one of our weapons, it wouldn't end up in enemy hands.
Yes, and also part of the Allies in Axiom.
Yes, without having any proof, I still will say to start us off in, in good tidings. Just, we have no reason to use the weapon against you unless you attack us directly, and we have no reason to give it away as it is such a powerful weapon that could be used for our own purposes. We are a neutral party. We would definitely never give it to Noctum. To say that
The problem is that when some people say neutral, they mean different things.
Yes.
There are forms of neutrality that are, well, I'll just leave well enough alone.
Yes.
And there's forms of neutrality where it's like, well, I'm I'm not going to be on the battlefield myself, but I'm going to aid and assist a specific side.
Yes, and then there's the neutrality of people who come to us. They want information, and then they feed it straight to Noctum. There have been several instances of that so far.
See, I'd say our version of neutrality is we treat people as they treat us, and we do not want to get in any fights whatsoever, and we do not want to facilitate the war in any way. The aid to you would be as you have made friends with us. It's not because we support your position in the war, it's because we like you.
Of course.
Just having gotten to know you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's
Yes.
We'll have to see. I will need to speak with Ishra and Thanavi and get everything worked out.
perhaps...
But it is something we can at least think of.
Yes, perhaps something of the means of we set specific sort of asks that more or less show the devotion. Well, not to us, obviously, but sort of to Axiom and to the cause and wanting to do good in general. And then, if such a thing is done, then we may be willing to do such. But again, it's a conversation to have with Ishra. And Lady Thanavi, of course.
We can do certain acts to prove that we will not compromise you in any way through our transactions and aid.
Well, since you display a willingness to do so, then let us speak on the matter, and then we'll get back to you. As for the matter of friendship, you really don't know how much it means. I went to that bar opening earlier this cycle, and I was there for all of 2 ticks before I was attacked. I was told to leave, and when I took a moment to try and talk my way through things, I was attacked by Bela, shortly joined by presumably Vitus and a number of others, and chased halfway across Farbane, or down the road for a little while before having my throat torn in a parade of very happy people to see me die there. So I won't be going out without a hood for a while. I'm lucky that I came back at all.
Understandable.
Yeah,
I am
that
sorry
wasn't a
to
pleasant
hear
thing to see happen.
You were there, T.
Honestly,
I was there
I did.
to
I was
hope-
downstairs in the arena, but it was happening upstairs.
I came
By
upstairs.
the time I looked outside, everybody was gone.
I made no move of violence, no word of violence. It was merely my presence that was the problem. And the fact that I dared step upon their grounds. In fact, I was there to try and, despite everything, be pleasant and kind and say hello to people and show my face in a new bar and hopefully enjoy its opening night and have a drink or two. Even with the knowledge that the enemy might be there, I was hoping that the sanctity of what I presumed to be neutral ground would be respected. But that was not the case. And with my illusion magic as weak as it is right now, I wasn't able to get away in the same fashion I might normally do. When I block, it has to be with blood these days rather than mist. It isn't the first time. There's been assassinations, Dreamer.
Yes, it's, well, it's been, it's odd because we're in a phase here in this war that is, well, it's different than the war between ourselves and Nocturne has been in the past. In the past, there was no such thing as a neutral ground because, well, it was only us and them. I think we're all learning how to navigate the fact that there are those within Vardoran who are not necessarily a part of things. It's a learning process for everyone, I believe.
You can consider our schedule to be staying out of things, at least when it comes to the war. Separate from all that's going on, to the best of our ability.
Yeah, see, we like going to parties and not having any risk of somebody putting a sword to our faces.
I really wish I could
Yeah.
have the same be true for me, but regardless.
I mean, you're welcome at the Red Ripple Inn.
When I have stopped
Hopefully
by a couple
no
of...
one there has any issue with you, and we will be enforcing that on our grounds. That
So
no one
it shall be.
attack each other
So it
in
shall
our...
be.
Sorry.
I appreciate it. I'll be... I'm going to be on edge for a while, I think. Regardless, but I appreciate the offer. I've actually stopped by a number of times, and there hasn't been anyone there. But...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I know I at least have been in torpor for a while.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Alright, well, I might need to take my leave. We appreciate you, well, coming to speak with us. I know there's a lot of,
As you wish.
unfortunately, despite some of our best efforts, there's a lot of fear surrounding us, so we appreciate that you, well. Alright. Quick question. Do you need access right now?
Simply ask. We don't... for the same reason as we mentioned earlier, with neutrality often being used against us as a guise to... get things out of us. Simply let any of us know and we can open the doors for you. Though
We can also, if we are ever in a, well, I don't want to completely negate all aspects of opening the doors sometimes, even if there is a risk.
yes,
I don't want to necessarily live in fear because of them. So,
I
if
agree.
ever the hothouse is open or there's people about and you just want to ask, then, well,
As you
we
wish.
can let you in. So either by appointment, or if we are having an event here and it's not actively interrupting anything, then yes.
Absolutely.
And if you visit the Red Ripple Inn and no one is there, shoot any of us or all of us a bat, and we'll see if we can come by.
There's usually someone awake just at the estate right across the road.
Yes.
So
yes. There's almost always someone awake at the estate itself.
Of course.
We do not man the inn regularly, but if anyone is there, we know of it, then we stop by at least.
Well, in that case, I'll have to just knock on your front door to say hello.
Yes. That would be wonderful.
That doesn't
Wish you
make
were
it.
off
That
and
doesn't
asleep while
make.
you were awake.
That really doesn't make any sense, Dreamer.
It does actually make the most sense.
You know,
As you wish.
I believe you. I just am going to have to take a while to make sense of it myself.
I guess we've been doing the awkward thing of standing at the door the whole time.
Well,
We have. But at least it wasn't this door.
oh yes, it's for the best. Well, regardless, I thank you all truly for stopping by, and I hope to see you soon. You could just close the door on Coruscant.
I thought it was through the door.
No, Dorian, he was on the other side of the door. You almost slammed it in his face.
I will assert
My apologies.
Well, good to see you, Karaskin, as well. Stop by any time too.
Yes, take care.
Nice to see you all.
Mm-hmm.
You take care.